We don't promote positive and ownership of your company. I'm making it cool to be
walking around. You know, I'm a good loyal friend. I'm not gonna go inside a house where they said my friend can't go. So we just walking around mingling. But we tripping out, looking at everybody like they off everything, smoking and jumping around like hooligans. And so I seen P. Diddy or whatever, and I seen him with the Prince. I'm not gonna say what he was doing, but something really, I get real nervous. Something real crazy, because I don't like to really expose people. I could talk about me, but when it's about, like me, my family, because it's us. But when it's other people, bro, doing something real sexual, that's all I'm going to say.
What's going on with all my billionaires out there? This the guy, Hoods Billionaire. Welcome to Hoods Billionaire TV. Big favor, big abundance. It's cool to be smart. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about a former model and singer speaking on what she saw at a Diddy party. Definitely not gonna want to miss this, man. Definitely, she as y'all heard, man, she was saying some pretty wild things and allegations. We're gonna just go ahead and speak on it and dissect it and break it down. Pretty much what she saw and the experience she had at a Diddy party. So this was an interview done by Soft White Underbelly. I'm not super familiar with his content, but you guys go check him out. He did an interview with a woman. Her name is Tania. I'm sorry, her name is Tania, and he did an interview with her, and where he was discussing with her about some of the things that she saw at the Diddy party. Okay, so the woman named Tania, she went to the party. She went with an Arabian prince by the name of Prince Asim. That's what she said. Said she was cool, where she knew somebody that knew the prince, and that the prince knew Diddy, and she said that she had just got out of a bad contract as far as singing goes, and she was looking for somebody to invest in her in regards to singing, right? So she was looking for a deal, pretty much, right? That's what she said. She looking for a deal. So the lady got with the prince. She said she stayed with the prince for about a month. Say she was down there with the prince for about a month. Okay, staying with the prince. I mean, that right there, kind of, I don't know what's going on with that, but she was staying with the prince for a month, right? Along with multiple other women. So her and multiple other women were staying with the prince. Said that the prince had told her he had a surprise for her. And one time when they were about to go to Club Live, he told her, hey, we going to a Diddy party. Okay, so she got excited because she was thinking like, oh, okay, he finna put me on so I can get a contract, right? So it'd be, you know, for my singing. So she was excited. So they went to Club Live. She said they drinking a little bit there, having a good time. They went off to the Diddy party, right? So they got to the Diddy party, and then this is where she started to say things kind of got a little weird, right? So they go to the Diddy party. They chilling. She's saying she's seeing a lot of celebrities and different people. But she was saying that while she was there, she was like, people were just like, she could tell that they was on drugs. She was like, everybody off whatever, they just bouncing off walls, just like hooligans. These are her words verbatim. They, you know, they were bouncing off the walls looking like hooligans. They were on all type of different substances. You could, you know, just tell by their movement, right? So they kept asking her to drink, telling her to giving her like champagne. I think it was mimosas or whatever. She was saying she just was holding the drink. She didn't drink it. So she kind of already felt like she knew what the play was. So she was just saying that. She said a lot of that, saw a lot of drugs, a lot of people, you know, just acting weird. She said when she finally saw Diddy, right? She said Diddy was talking to the prince, right? She said that Diddy was, you know, pleasuring himself in plain sight where everybody could see. Right, she said she had spoke to a friend of hers that she was there with. She like, man, girl, do you see this? Right, and saying that like this is crazy, this is nuts, like this man just all out in the open like that. Right, that's pretty much what she was alluding to. That's what I took from that. Right, said he was doing something to himself, and fornicating with himself. Right, so he was doing this out in the open. So she knew kind of like, okay, this is a weird party. I'm not really feeling this. Said one of his sons gave her some like white cloth slippers and told her to go into the house. Say anybody that get the slippers can go into the house. Right. So she thought anybody could go into the house, but no, you had to be, you know, given the slippers to go into the house. So she didn't want to leave her friend. She was still chopping it up with her friend. Right. Say the son came back hounding her. She didn't say which son it was, but she just said, you know, the son told her to go into the house with the slippers. So she was like, you know what, let me go into the house with the slippers. You know what I mean? So, you know, it maybe, you know, I can chop it up, sing for Diddy in there, you know, rub elbows with some people I need to rub elbows with, right? So she put on the slippers. She went into the house. She said that's kind of where stuff started to get a little too crazy. She said when she went in the house, said it was a lot of celebrities, but she was seeing people just doing all type of different stuff, wild stuff in the open, right? Like people fornicating over here, you know, people doing drugs over here, you know, people doing all type of crazy stuff all out in the open inside of this house. So she was detailing that how she seen that. Then she said it was some, she called them little people. And then she said something that was kind of disturbing, where she was talking about like it's no way that these young people should be in here. And she was like, maybe it's a production or something like that. Maybe they were having a production. She wasn't quite sure, but she was like, these were young people. These were little people, young people dressed up like Harajuku Barbies, right? Which, if that is true, right? Because everybody got a story and saying what they seen, but if Diddy was doing anything with kids, he need to be in jail. Point blank, period. Like, I'm very fair. Like, if it's one way or the other, if they trying to railroad him and they trying to just say anything about him, I don't agree with that. And I'm not standing on that because I don't want to see no black man get railroaded. If he was messing with kids, he need to be in jail. Point blank, period. I have no tolerance for that whatsoever. So if she saw kids there, and that can be verified through, you know, video, right? And they got the evidence to show he was messing with kids, then he need to be in jail. Point blank, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts to that, right? So that's what she said she saw. Say she saw some young people walking around with dressed up like Harajuku Barbies, right? A lot of drugs, a lot of fornication all over. Said one of Diddy's sons kept trying to press her, you know what I mean, and see what she was on. She said she did not like the vibe in there. They kept talking about how they were going to go to Canada. I mean, not Canada, I'm sorry, Cuba. They kept talking about how they were going to go to Cuba. Asked her, did she want to come to Cuba? Also along with them as well. You know, she just had a weird vibe. She wasn't feeling it. She like, Cuba for what? You know, this kind of, some of her spider senses went off. And so she left, right? So she said she called the police just to escort her so she could leave. You know, because she felt like people were holding her where she couldn't leave. So she ended up leaving, and she ended up telling her story. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's been trending, right? And I will say this about this, right? Because we don't know what's true and what's false. She said she did. She been telling this story. She told it in 2022. And people didn't believe her. You know what I mean? I believe this happened in 2018. So she said she been saying this same story. And now that everything's come out, people have been doubling back and coming back to her saying, hey, you remember that story you was telling us about Diddy? Let's talk about it now. You get what I'm saying? So if it's true, all the other stuff that really don't have nothing to do, you know, with I don't really have no issue with that. Like, even, okay, if y'all doing drugs and, you know, fornicating, that's on y'all. That's what y'all choose to do. If it was kids there, I don't agree with that. Diddy should go to jail for that. If you drugged anybody, if you put something in somebody's drink and you didn't tell them, right? You just was passing out champagne that was spiked, you definitely should go to jail for that, right? You shouldn't just be drugging people without letting them know. I don't agree with that also as well. I once again don't agree with hitting no women or nothing like that. So if you was doing any of them things, then I can't rock with that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we have to see if this is verified and corroborated, right? Because a lot of people saying a lot of things, making a lot of accusations on Diddy. I did a story where the lady had lied via text message, you know, talking about texting her ex-boyfriend, asking him to corroborate a story, you know, because she was gonna sue Diddy for $3 million. So you know, you gotta take in what you can take in. She seemed like she possibly could be telling the truth, but with, you know, all this Jaguar right stuff and all this other stuff, we gotta just wait and see what's real. You know what I'm saying? But once again, I'm on the fair side of what's right. If he did any of the stuff that I don't agree with, right? And I'm talking about anything with kids, anything with drugging women, anything with SAing women, anything with you know, RPing with women, anything along them lines, drugging anybody, anything like that, I don't agree with, and he should be held accountable for that. But if any of this is just like hearsay and stuff people just making up just for like clout and views and clicks, then I don't agree with that also as well. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all think this lady, what she was saying, was legit? Y'all tell me what y'all think, man. It's the guy who's being there, big favor, big abundance. It's cool to be smart. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. It's the guy who's being there, big favor, big abundance. I'm gone.